Larry Bird scored 30, 40 points on a team with all of his left hand alone for the fun of it. For the fun of it. Literally, just walked in like, man, I'm doing this today with my left hand. Because I need to challenge myself. Do you hear that? An NBA player that's already playing at the top of the top. That's like LeBron, you my guy, coming into the league and saying, man, all 40 of my points today about to be dunks. Let's get it. We back with the Larry Bird, the baddest man to ever shoot a basketball, part 4. If you're new to the channel, it's your boy DtaeNoDinero here. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn the notification bells on. And if you want to catch up on what we already watched so far, go to the channel and check out the Larry Bird playlist. We got part 1, 2, and 3 on there already. I don't want to talk y'all heads off like always, so we're going to get straight to this video and end this one off with a banger. That's how everybody do it now. But let's get to it though, y'all. We left off with Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith talking about how they felt Larry Bird they'd take Larry Bird with LeBron James, start off their franchise, and was a better player at the age of 30 than LeBron was at the age of 30. Drop some in the comments if you disagree, if you feel like LeBron's better. Hey, look, we glorify we glorify talent over here. We not doing no hating. But we just all speak up in our own opinions, and we like to state what our opinion is. And to us, it seemed more so a fact than anything, though. But hey, drop some in the comments if you're a LeBron fan. Shout out to LeBron. He's a native out of Ohio, so I'm not a hater. I just support Larry Bird more.
It's even close.
Well, let me say this. I think that LeBron James is a superior athlete. I think for the first 45 to 46 minutes of a game, I don't know if there's anybody in the world that you can pick over LeBron James because he's a freak of nature, a physical freak of nature, being the fact that he's 6'8", 250 pounds, locomotive coming at you, capable of not just scoring but also defending and playing on both sides of the ball. I got to give LeBron credit where credit is due in that regard. But there's no way on earth that I'd pick him over Larry Bird in the clutch. I can tell you that much. Larry Bird was not just a superior shooter from anywhere on the court, just like you highlighted. Not only was he a near 90% shooter from the free throw line, which LeBron could never brag about, but also Larry Bird was Mr. Clutch. When the game was on the line,
definitely,
you knew that the ball was going in Larry Bird's hands, and there was little to nothing that you could do to stop him because he was that much of a marksman of the highest order, one of the most lethal marksmen we've ever seen in the game's history. But the reason why I also feel the need to side with my man Reggie Miller is because when that intangible about winning, it is something that LeBron James took years to learn. Even though he deserves to be respected and that should not be held against him.
Right.
What's undeniable, Skip, is that Larry Bird, whatever intangibles LeBron James strived to develop and ultimately did to some degree, but is still working on in terms of its completion, Larry Bird walked into the NBA with that attitude.
Straight up, and I said that in our last video, so please go check it out. You will see that I said that Larry Bird came straight into the league, 3 years in at the most, champion. LeBron came in and he amazed everybody because at that point in time, everybody was a fan of high flyers. You know, we were in the era and getting away from the era of watching people like Vince Carter jump far and stick his whole arm in the rim. We got Tracy McGrady, his cousin, going crazy. Wow, dunking crazy. And then you got this 18-year-old guy coming straight out of high school, 18, 19-year-old guy, which I'm talking about Mr. King James here, comes straight out of high school, and he's dunking like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. You know, some of the best dunkers that you have ever seen. And, you know, that right there just gave him that extra stature of being a great player as soon as he came into the league. But the difference is that Larry Bird came in as a shooter. See, a lot of people don't remember this, but LeBron James couldn't shoot for nothing when he first came into the league. He had to develop a whole different type of shot. So the way he used to shoot was completely different from what he shoots now. That's what I'm going with this. So he had to learn, he had to become a better shooter and change his whole form up in order to even be able to get wins. Larry Bird, on the other hand, came straight into the league with that same mentality, that same stature, because he was a people's favorite, fans' favorite, but he could shoot. He could shoot the ball. And if you know anything about a shooter, shooting the ball opens up everything for you. It opens up everything for you. If people know you can't shoot the ball, they gonna stand 10 feet away from you and say, man, shoot it. We just gonna get your rebound and go back down on the other end of the court and get an easy bucket. Yeah, we know you the man. We know you the man. You the man on your team. We know it. We know you sweet. You big, you tall, you can jump high, but you can't shoot. We're gonna put 5, 4, 3 people down here in the paint. As soon as you come down here, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna get a charge, or you're gonna get your stuff swatted. So just let that be known why Larry Bird came into the league and had that and got that stature, and it took him further than a lot of people because he could shoot the ball. He literally could shoot the ball better than anyone. That's it. And he was 6'10" and can shoot the ball better than everyone. No one could block his shots. There wasn't no Wimbays and Giannis's and Embiid's yet. No 7'4" people that's gonna be, contesting it. We had some Mutombos, you know what I mean? But they slow on his feet, man. But I ain't about to talk y'all heads off, man. Drop some in the comments what y'all think about what I just said. If y'all agree or disagree, please let me know what y'all feel about that. But I just want to state the fact of the matter that I watched the Indiana Hoosiers before we go back to the video, and I'm gonna stop talking so much to y'all. But I watched Indiana Hoosiers, and I would never forget at the beginning of the movie, they didn't have no pavement, no paved course to be dribbling all day. All they did was shoot the ball all day, every day. In some bigger cities, you had paved, so people was working on their handles all day, and then working on these different ways to dunk the ball. It was simple fundamentals for them in Indiana, man. Simple as that, man. Shout out to Indiana for creating some of the best shooters of all time, man.
He walked into the NBA with that gift. And there was an accountability factor that came with being on the floor with Larry Bird, because there was a certain level of excellence that was expected, and there was a certain level of dereliction of duty that would not be tolerated. We've seen LeBron James tolerate a lot of things throughout the years, trying to fit in, trying to get along, trying to be that, what he thought a leader was supposed to be. Larry Bird never paid any attention to any of that. He was Larry Bird. And he came in there with a level of greatness coming from Indiana State, and he put the basketball world on notice that he was going to be a legend, and he was going to be a winner. And anybody that played with him had damn well better adopt that attitude, or they were not going to be wearing the same uniform as him. That was Larry Bird. And we haven't seen that really from LeBron James, to be quite honest with you. So, in terms of leadership, in terms of clutch,
even still to this day with him playing for the Lakers, man.
And overall
even still to this day,
not just trophies, but a mentality. Larry Bird gets the nod.
Some stuff just got to be in you, not on you. Y'all can put it on a person all y'all want, but some stuff just got to be in you. And Larry Bird had it in him.
A little harder because I anticipated you would.
I can't.
No?
Money time, whether it's a particular juncture in the season where you're trying to position yourself for the playoffs, or you're talking about the last minutes of a game, or you're talking about the last shot in a game, or you're talking about a game 7, or you're talking about anything that indicates clutch. You simply can't pick LeBron over Larry Bird, because you can pick almost no one in NBA history over Larry Bird, because he was a marksman of the highest order. When it was money time, you knew where the ball was going, and you also knew there was little to nothing that you could do about it. It was just a matter of whether or not Larry Bird was going to make it or miss it. It was not a matter of what he was going to put himself in position to do or what he was going to be capable of doing, because he was that big time. He was Larry Bird. I can't deny that.
We take a quick look at those stats, the age 30 stats between Larry Bird, LeBron James. Larry Bird got him by 3 points in overall average scoring. 3 rebounds a game he's got him by, which is pretty significant. Got him slightly in assists, which surprised me.
He's not in Bird's league when it comes to passing the basketball.
Field goal percentage is substantial, 52.3 to 48.8. And then finally, that was another year. Larry Bird at 91% led the league in free throw percentage.
When you look at the stats, what you also have to consider, Skip, is that Larry Bird deserves even more credit when you look at those numbers, because the game was played considerably tougher then. It was more physical. You can get up in people. You know, you had the bad boys and everybody was still in the game and being very, very relevant. We all know the game of
tripping when he said that. You can get up in people. Wow.
This buddy right now. You pass gas, you'll get called for a foul.
Yeah.
You touch somebody's fingernails, you might get ejected.
I agree.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So the fact that back then it being so tougher and Larry Bird having the quality of teammates that he had in McHale and Dennis Johnson and others, to sit there and put up those kind of numbers is another testament to his greatness, because he was playing in a time where they did not mind sharing the wealth. We know how unselfish he was about sharing the wealth.
Flick it or tap it or bounce it to a teammate without even catching it.
Bounce, Bird. Nice tip to McHale. Pretty as you ever want to see. Pass to Bird. Behind.
Hey, that was tough.
And yet he was still able to register those kind of numbers. So Larry Bird deserves a whole lot of credit for that.
I agree with you. I'm guessing that right now about 80% of our viewing audience does not agree with either one of us.
Well, all that means is that they don't know anybody.
They don't know no better.
We're giving them facts.
Y'all don't know no better if you're a LeBron fan or a Larry Bird fan.
I don't think he deserves it over Bird, over the Larry legend that we watched, in terms of what I told you, those 45 minutes, you know, an 82-game schedule. He deserves it in that level. But in terms of clutch, money time, there's no contest. He's not even in Larry Bird's class.
Let's all just agree that Bird's better.
Bird's better.
Because it annoys LeBron fans.
It really does.
Shooting,
What is going on? Knees cracking and everything.
Their overall field goal percentages are remarkably similar.
If anybody know what that skit is, please drop that in the comments. I want to check that skit out. It looked like it was on Comedy Central. But please drop the name of that skit in the comments. That way I could check it out. Maybe if y'all want me to do a reaction to it, we'll check it out together. But if you know what it is, I want to watch it for myself. That skit looks hilarious.
But as we showed earlier, LeBron does the vast majority of his damage near the rim, where Larry was able to match the field goal percentage by taking many more shots from outside.
I told you.
Not to take anything away from, LeBron's physical, if not athletic ability is a gift. Larry's IQ and basketball competitiveness is, uncanny. Like Larry's ability to make tough shots.
As for the outside shooting, this isn't really close. And the only reason his three-point numbers aren't gaudier is the simple fact that hardly any threes were taken back then, much less practiced. And yet Bird still shot over 40% 5 times, including 2 50-40-90 seasons. Bird was consistently among the best free throw shooters each season, while LeBron's best year at the line was still 6 points lower than Bird's worst year. Interestingly, if you look at defensive win shares, Larry Bird actually ranks ahead of LeBron James by 1 spot. And that's because all of his basketball genius we saw on the offensive end translated to the defensive side of the ball as well. And when he was young and healthy, he made some plays that might, just might, remind you of some of the things we saw LeBron do. His quick hands allowed him to strip the ball, and in fact, he averaged the same amount of steals per game that LeBron does now. And that brings us to clutch performance. Those moments when everyone in the building knows who's getting the ball, and as that clock winds down, do you have the clutch gene to nail the shot? While we don't have the advanced stats from Bird's era, we're going to have to use anecdotal evidence to show that time and again, the Celtics went to him in the waning seconds of the game, and it was a rare occasion when he didn't come through for them.
Wow, tough shot. 1 second left.
At the very least, there was never ever a time when Bird was afraid to shoot the ball in those pressure situations. He would inevitably find some way to get open, Remember, they would hardly ever run a straight isolation out top and have him create off the dribble.
Right.
Bird would flash open, find some sort of sliver of daylight, and get the jumper off. Again, these were moments when going to the basket wasn't preferable because the referees would definitely let the players decide these games. Foul calls were hard to come by. So it made more sense to do your best to get off a clean look from the outside. And Larry Bird was as good as anyone in this era with his knack for being in the right place at the right time, dropping in shots from all angles and degree of difficulty. LeBron's clutchiness is a bit more complicated. I'm criticized at times for not taking the game-winning shot, even though I will defend him on some of these for making the right basketball play, something he's always been focused on doing to his credit. However, there have been a few times where he hasn't been the man down the stretch, and it has opened him up to quite a bit of criticism for not being that clutch player. Mark Stein wrote an article on ESPN.com about this, and with the help of advanced analytics and play-by-play data, we can quantify how LeBron has shot when attempting a tying or go-ahead shot in the final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime. As of March 1st of this year, he was a very mortal 5 for 47, or 10.6% over the past 10 seasons, whereas the league average on these shots is 22.7%. Can we even make a fair comparison of two players from completely different eras? While Bird was doing the mullet, LeBron was doing the headband. If you want to look at sheer ability to make plays while at the height of their careers, Larry definitely had more skill, while LeBron brought more physical gifts.
You can always defend Bird by saying he stuck with the team that drafted him, won with the team that drafted him, which was a bad team when they drafted him.
Well, the world was a little different then.
Stop with the excuses.
Oh, right.
Bird.
Right, start with the excuses.
Out here.
Yeah.
Bird didn't have to assemble a super team, a dream team.
One area Larry was far superior in was his use of the left hand. There were sections of whole games where he'd only shoot with his offhand, and he had such control and touch with it, you'd never know exactly how to guard him once you got within 10 feet of the basket.
Man, listen, you know what? They just touched on two things right then and there that should just separate the argument right there. Hey, LeBron, I'm a huge supporter of your gift and talent at basketball. There'll never be no one else like LeBron. Every child named LeBron from here on out, since you came into the league, I'm pretty sure their parents got the name from your legacy. But the fact of the matter is that the comparison between you and Larry Bird is there's a huge difference, man. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. You may have the most points in the whole league, history of NBA players and all of that, but you've played longer than everybody in the NBA. You may have broken the record a little bit longer, a little while ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But the level of competition was not the same when Kobe Bryant died. Rest in peace to Kobe. Larry Bird's left hand alone should say enough about the difference in between everything. Larry Bird scored 30, 40 points on a team with all of his left hand alone for the fun of it. For the fun of it. Literally, just walked in like, man, I'm doing this today with my left hand. Because I need to challenge myself. Do you hear that? An NBA player that's already playing at the top of the top. That's like LeBron, you my guy, coming into the league and saying, man, all 40 of my points today about to be dunks. Because you know you jump higher than everybody. You know you dunk. You can get over and get the slam dunk on somebody that's trying to block you because you're stronger than them. That's like coming in and saying, man, I'm about to dish out 30 assists today. I don't even want to get no points. I'm coming into the gym. I'm about to just get 30 assists. Straight up. I don't care about nothing else. There has never been an opportunity where you walked into the gym and said that because, to be honest with you, you couldn't. You couldn't. You are gifted. You are talented. But so was everybody else in the gym. You just was better at doing something that they couldn't do. And it led your career to go a certain way. On top of officiating and people's favorites on off the court. So, shout out to you for doing your thing and being a great NBA player. But we all seen what it looked like when you went up against Paul Pierce. Yeah, we talk about it was 3 people against LeBron. It was Paul Pierce and Rondo. KG did his thing in the paint with the rebounds and getting buckets when they needed, but you had people on your team that was doing the same exact thing. It was Paul Pierce hitting those clutch shots at the end of the game when they was needed to break the tiebreaker or tie the game for it to go into overtime or for them to get the win. We done watched you right now just pass up the ball several times. Lastly, and this is going to seal the deal. Dang, what was I about to say? He was talking about the left hand, and then we was talking about Larry Bird's not trading the team, building the team up. No, that wasn't the case. Let's get back to the video, y'all. I lost my train of thought just talking about that alone.
I can't think of another player who used his ability to score with his offhand as often as Bird did, and even 25 years later, these are still the most impressive of his highlights.
Straight up.
Something LeBron cannot do.
Larry was a debate. He still is. People ask me all the time who my top 5 players are. When I start saying Larry, they interrupt me. They say, "You've got to be kidding me. He can't play with LeBron James." I tell them, "You guys don't get it. Larry is far better than any small forward who played the game." And that's coming from a lot of y'all greats. Michael Jordan. The great Michael Jordan. Put it like that. Wow, that ending is very long.
Push off on Michael Jordan, going over the left shoulder for 3.
It's there! 4/10 of a second!
When the Pacers hit the shot, and Bird just sat there and did not move.
The whole world is going crazy. They pan the camera to Larry Bird.
He didn't even move.
Standing there like he has ice water in his veins.
So you know what I'm talking about. What is that? He's not even human. I've never seen anything like that in my life. He didn't even blink.
Talk about calm under pressure, right? And that's the way he was as a player.
He doesn't even blink. I mean, did he ever get excited? Did you ever hear him yell?
Yes, he got excited, absolutely. But we treated Larry Bird like E.F. Hutton. When he talked, people listened. He didn't say too much, but when he did, he had our attention.
Straight up.
Very private, but if he's your friend, man, you got a friend for life. And Larry Bird is a straight shooter. He'll tell you when he don't like you. That's one thing I wish I could have from him, that he has that I don't have. I wish I had that.
One of my pet peeves always is when people say, "Oh, Michael Jordan saved the NBA." Bullshit. Bullshit.
Who said that?
Magic and Larry saved the NBA.
Definitely Larry.
That's who saved the NBA.
Larry and Magic.
Magic and Larry.
Straight up.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day.
Still yet to see
Larry,
one.
there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
I asked him one time, I said, what would it have been like if you had stayed on the sanitation truck? He said, "Pete, hopefully I would have been bossed by now."
I am curious to know what my train of thought was before, so I am going to go back and touch on whatever that was that guy had brought up right here.
You know, LeBron's physical, if not athletic ability is a gift. Larry's IQ and basketball competitiveness is, uncanny. Like Larry's ability to make tough shots.
As for the outside shooting, this isn't really close. And the only reason his three-point numbers aren't gaudier is the simple fact that hardly any threes were taken back then, much less practiced. And yet Bird still shot over 40% 5 times. Don't have the advanced stats from Bird's era, we're going to have to use anecdotal evidence to show that time and again, the Celtics went to him in the waning seconds of the game, and it was a rare occasion when he didn't come through for them. At the very least, there was never ever a time when Bird was afraid to shoot the ball in those pressure situations. he would inevitably find some way to get open. Remember, they would hardly ever run a straight isolation out top and have him create off the dribble. Bird would flash open, find some sort of sliver of daylight, and get the jumper off. However, there have been a few times where he hasn't been the man down the stretch, and it has opened him up to quite a bit of criticism for not being that clutch player. Mark Stein wrote an article on ESPN.com about this, and with the help of advanced analytics and play-by-play data, we can quantify how LeBron has shot when attempting a tying or go-ahead shot in the final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime.
Right.
As of March 1st of this year, he was a very mortal 5.
Stuck with the team that drafted him, won with the team that drafted him, which was a bad team when they drafted him.
Well, the world was a little different then.
Stop with the excuses.
Oh, right.
Bird
No,
was-
sure, right,
I'm
yes.
helping you out here.
Yeah.
Bird didn't have to assemble a super team, a dream team.
One area Larry was far superior in was his use of the left hand. There were sections of whole games where he'd only shoot with his offhand, and he had such control and touch with it, you'd never know exactly how to guard him once you got within 10 feet of the basket.
And on that note, y'all, we gonna end it there. Please drop some in the comments what y'all think about the video. Also, let's try to get this video up to 15 likes as well. 15 likes times 4 is 60 likes, so I appreciate that. So far, we've been on a steady pace with the likes, so let's keep liking the videos, keep commenting what y'all think. Please let me know if y'all got some sort of difference about my opinions that I've stated during the time in the video. That way, you know, I'm open to everything. I'm open to suggestions. I like to listen to everybody. Me personally, I say this. I'm not gonna say Larry Bird was the best player of all times, even though that's my opinion. I'm not gonna say that now. What I'm gonna say is Larry Bird has stuff that most players that are considered someone else's favorite, he had stuff that they couldn't do, and that was hit shots in the clutch. Only other people that really can do that is Michael Jordan and Steph Curry. Simple as that. And that's just me watching all these different films. But hey, y'all, I am interested to know this. Who do y'all feel like was who was the best clutch player, second best clutch player, third best clutch player? I just want to know LeBron's gonna be in y'all mouth. I just want to know LeBron's gonna be even considered when y'all type it. So yeah, it's your boy DtaeNoDinero here. If you're new to the channel and you stayed this long, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I thank you for everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. Y'all have helped me go from 300, 200, maybe even 100, all the way up to 900. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and the numbers is going up crazy lately. So I really greatly appreciate y'all. I come back and I keep doing these videos just for y'all, for the people that keep commenting and keep talking back to me and giving me some more reason to, you know, keep going deeper down the Larry Bird rabbit hole. But anyways, don't let me be the one to talk y'all heads up. I know y'all got stuff to do. So, peace. Catch me in the next video. We out.